Hi, I'm Effie and today I'm back again with another tag video. Except this time it could go very wrong for me because I haven't looked at the questions in advance. So wish me luck, I suppose. This is the Booktube journey tag and I don't think I made a note. No, I did make a note of who originated this tag, but I will link them in the description. First question is, how long have you been watching Booktube? I don't know, honestly. I think Lena Norms was the first Booktube I watched, but I genuinely could not tell you how long I have watched Booktube for. I feel like not as long as maybe some other people, well, maybe quite a lot of people, but I enjoy bookish content. And then our second question is, how long have you been making Booktube videos for? And I think it's coming up for 4 years, maybe like 3.5. I'm pretty sure my first video was in May 2021. What made you start making videos? I genuinely don't remember. I think it was something that I'd been contemplating for a while, and then I think I realised that phone cameras actually have like a really good capacity to record. Now, I don't know if they're like particularly great for recording, but I think it's probably something I've wanted to do for a while, getting into Booktube, but I was always so intimidated by the need for kit, and I'm sure there'll be a question about advice later, so I'll save any more for what I was going to say. But I think ultimately what ended up happening is my best friend, whose channel is Head in the Books, and she does a lot more of a mix between FlossTube and Booktube nowadays. I would say it's probably a 50-50 split, whereas for me it's just the occasional FlossTube video every so often. But yeah, she basically decided she was going to start YouTube, and I think that was what finally made me go, yeah, I'm gonna finally do this too. And the next question follows on quite nicely because it's, are there any people who've played a significant role in your YouTube journey? And yeah, I mean, my best friend. 100%. I probably wouldn't be doing this if she hadn't, well, I don't know, but like, she's such a big part of like every aspect of my life, so of course she's having a significant role. I think also my spouse, without him being so incredibly supportive, I wouldn't be doing this either. I don't know, it's really hard to sort of be like this person, because it takes a village like everything else. What kind of books do you like to read? I would say that I am almost exclusively a fiction reader. I do read some non-fiction, but not very often. And in terms of genre, I am not the biggest fan of sci-fi, but I think it's probably that I just haven't found sci-fi that works for me yet, because when I first started Booktube, I would have confidently told you I am not a romance reader, and now I would say that a large proportion of my reading is romance. Now, usually it's in a fantasy setting, but it's still romantic. So I'd say that the majority of my reading is fantasy, and my bread and butter is vampires. It's not really been a deliberate thing, but I've always loved vampires from being quite a young child. I've had a fascination with vampires, and as an adult the great thing is you can do whatever you want. So I decided I was going to read a ton of vampire books, and I am loving every minute of it. The next question is, how has that changed, as in what you read, since you started Booktube? And like, romance is the big change, I think, because I genuinely thought I didn't enjoy romance, and it's just that I hadn't found the right romance books for me. And now I couldn't imagine not loving some of these romance books I like. Like, the fact that I've got favourite authors who are exclusively romance authors is incredible to me. What kind of videos do you most like to make? This is a really hard one. I think the thing is that when I have the time to be able to dedicate and hone, my favourite kind of video to make is one that stretches me creatively, one that forces me to learn new skills, and those are the kind of videos that I feel most proud of. And I love that part of my content creation journey, not just on YouTube but beyond that, has been expanding my ability with various different softwares to make the coolest possible videos I can, and also using graphic design software as well. So I don't know, like, yeah, if I've got plenty of time, I love the making videos that stretch me creatively. If I don't, then I think my favourite kind is the ones where I am sitting with a drink, and sometimes it's tea, literally, and sometimes it is an alcoholic beverage, and just having a chat about something. But those kind of videos need to be organic. You can't force that kind of video, unfortunately. Like, so even though that is one of my absolute favourite videos to make, I can't just like come on here and be like, okay, today I'm going to have a chat about this thing. It has to be informed by my reading, but I love when I get to make those kind of videos. The next question is, how has that changed since you started on Booktube? Do you think your video making style has changed over time? I'm pretty sure my content has changed. Sorry, my legs are completely dead. So shuffle our position. Okay, so yeah, I think when I first started making YouTube videos, I was quite intimidated, and I definitely didn't know how to do anything. Like, it has all been a learning curve for me to learn how to do all of this. So I think when I first started making videos, I wanted to make, not to call them simple is to do my past self an injustice, or a disservice rather, but it needed to be a video that basically all I needed to do was trim out the ums and the ahs. I could maybe put graphics of book covers on screen, but like nowadays, I'll cut things out, I'll have various different layers to the video, maybe I'll have things going on with sound. Like, I don't feel like my video making has reached its final form, and it probably never will, but I definitely think that, well, I'd like to think that the videos I make now are more complex, more intricate, and I enjoy them for that. Not so much when I've got to edit them and I don't leave myself enough time, because that's something that has not changed. over my 3.5 years on Booktube, I never seem to allocate myself enough time to get the stuff done. Like, I'm always running around like a heedless chicken. Do you script and or edit your videos? And has that changed over time? Honestly, I never thought about not editing my videos. Like, I think every so often when I've got a video that doesn't go to plan, I will put up an unedited version as an unlisted video, but I've never not edited my content. And maybe I'm missing a trick there. Maybe I should do content that is less edited. But then again, I enjoy the high level editing. So I don't know what the answer is there. In terms of scripting, I mean, I don't know if it's just that I don't really know a good setup to, you know, have a script so that I can refer to it. But also, I think that I don't have the skills to be able to deliver a script in a way that feels authentic. Like, I'd much rather, you know, go by the seat of my pants and just talk directly to you. I want my videos basically always to feel like you're talking to a friend. I want you to feel invited over for a cup of tea to just gas about books. What's your most viewed video on your channel? It's my bloody Terry Pratchett collection. It is the most random video to have really popped off, but it is. So, in case you haven't seen it, I mean, only about 15,000 people have seen it, but essentially what it boils down to is, so I've got the complete collector's library of the Discworld series, and I have a rotating cake table, and I put each of those books on the rotating cake table, rotated it, and whilst they rotate, so you get a 360 view of the books, there's a blurb on screen. And the wildest thing to me is that that video was one of the earliest videos I made, relatively speaking, because this, the Discworld Collector's Library, was a present for my 30th birthday, and I turned 30 like 3 months after I started YouTube. Assuming I started in May, I'm now doubting myself and I'm like, did I actually start in March? But, you know, within a couple of months, you know, less than half a year basically, of beginning YouTube, I made this video, and it is just, for some reason, it really connects with people, and I don't know what it is, because it's not a particularly complicated, intricate video. Also, but then again, maybe it's because it's one of the few videos where it's not my face. What's your favourite video you've ever made? That's a really hard one, especially because I have made a lot of content over the last 3.5 years. I'm trying to think if there's anything that really, like, really pushed me. Bear with me, I'm gonna actually have a look and see what I've made. Okay, so this is really stupid, but I think my favourite video that I've made was a year or two back, when I sat down, I think it was on Christmas Eve, with B, my spouse, and we read through Amazon reviews for Matt Hancock, who, if you're not from the UK, he was the health minister during the pandemic, and he wrote a book, because of course he wrote a book. Basically, we just sat in here and we read like ridiculous reviews of his book from Amazon, and they were pretty much all absolutely hilarious, and it was such a good laugh. Like, it's not, I mean, none of my videos really have a massive viewership. Like, it's not a very, like, watched video, but in terms of, like, how much fun we had making it, it was fantastic, and it made me happy. And it was such a silly video to make, so why not? Do you have a favourite book you've read because of Booktube? Oh, that's a really hard one, because I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because as well, like, because I've got a bookish best friend, it's all linked. Like, you know, she probably, like, the whole reason I got into V. Schwab was because of her, and it wouldn't surprise me if she said that she got into V. Schwab because of Booktube. So it's all linked. I feel like some kind of weird conspiracy theory person, like, sitting here saying that. I'm gonna say Saga, actually. Like, I don't think I would have discovered Saga independently. Like, but because of the hype that everyone had for Saga, I got it, and then because of volume 10, I think it was volume 10, being on the Goodreads Choice Awards a couple of years back when they still had graphic novels, I read Saga. So, like, both obtaining Saga and then reading it were because of Booktube. Do you have a favourite Booktube experience to tell? I'm not really sure. I mean, as much as at the moment agoraphobia and a lot of pain get me down, and I would like to be in a position where I could work, but that's just not my life at the moment. My life's pretty good. Like, I am building relationships with publishers, and that's really cool. I really enjoy, like, so not related to Booktube, but it's all one package, isn't it? Like, I really enjoy doing cover reveals for books, which is so random, but I think cover reveals really give me that good opportunity to stretch my creativity, and because they're generally short videos, they're not, well, I mean, they can take a while, but they're not so intensive as, say, trying to do that with, I don't know, like a 25-minute, 30-minute video. So I don't know if I have a specific experience, but the whole experience, it's fun times. What does your book collection look like? Well, it's behind me. I almost exclusively film in my library, and my books are behind me. I have got, so these are Billy bookcases. Our ceilings are not high enough to have extenders, so they're just like the standard height Billies, the tall ones. And I've got 2.5 Billies. This one's the half. No, sorry, 3.5 Billies. This one on the end has, that one on the end has doors. So I've got those, and then I've got a couple of cheap Amazon bookcases that I've got 3 shelves, and you can just about fit like large paperbacks on the shelves at each side of the room. So yeah, that's what my book collection looks like. I will have a video of my entire physical TBR going up at some point this month, so if you want to actually see, well, I mean, they're the books I haven't read, but if you want to actually see what books are in my collection, that's probably the video to check out. What advice would you give to new people starting a Booktube channel? I think, and this is advice I received, the best thing you can do is small upgrades as you go. So when I started out, oh gosh, my first videos, I had the jankiest of setup. I sat on one of my dining room chairs that I'd brought through to the library, and then I stacked several like boxes together, and then I leaned my phone against the boxes, and that's how I recorded initially. And then I got a tripod, and you know, down the line I got a softbox. And like when I started out, I was editing on my phone, and I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but I used InShot, and InShot is like £7 per year. It's really affordable. But if you have an Android phone, I highly recommend the YouTube Create app, because it does all of the bells and whistles that you're looking for. The only exception is now I've upgraded and now I have a laptop that can run editing software, and I have, you know, paid for editing software on my laptop. So I haven't used the YouTube Create app much in, you know, basically for the past year. But the main limitation that I saw was that you don't have the capability to create open captions on a video over a certain length, and that length was something like 1 minute, because it's optimized for creating shorts. It is perfectly functional to edit long form content on, but because it's intended to create shorts, open captions are only available on short form content in that app. But yeah, my advice would be basically just get started, upgrade as you go, but upgrade slowly. Upgrade as you see the need and see how it's genuinely going to improve. And I think as well, you know, telling yourself that you have goals you want to achieve before you like do certain upgrades. Like maybe you want to go, right, I want to know that I'm in this before I get this thing or spend this amount of money. So I'm going to make sure that I can upload consistently for, I don't know, 3 months. And after that 3 months, I know this is something I want to do. So I'm going to get myself a lighting setup, for example. I think my lighting, I still think I don't get the light balance quite correct, but my lighting setup has been a game changer for me, because I live in northeast Scotland. So during the winter, some days we don't even see the sun. Some days it is overcast, grey. We do not have the lighting for the full day. But even on days when the sun comes up, we are lucky if we get 6 hours of light in the winter. And even then, the big thing with lighting is that the sun goes in and out. So you're going to see like inconsistent lighting. Like I love using natural lighting, but it's so rare that I actually can. So lighting is a game changer for me. But you figure out your own priorities. Anyway, I've just yapped and yapped and yapped. In terms of tagging, I would love to see my best friend, whose channel's Head in the Books, do this tag. But otherwise, I guess if you are watching this and want to do this tag yourself, please feel free to just take this as you're being tagged in. I basically just, if I see a tag video, I'm like, right, I'm going to do that. I don't need to be tagged to do a tag video. I still enjoy doing them. But until next time, love you. Bye.